From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network at Troy, Alabama's International University, this is Troy TrojanVision News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision News for September 23rd, 2016. I'm Seth Hawk.
And I'm Samantha Charles. Thank you for joining us this evening. Homecoming is October 15th, but Troy University students will select the members of the homecoming court next week. The candidates for court were announced this morning, so let's take a look at who the students will choose from. The candidates for court are Sarah Lane, Shishi Chow, Destiny Oliver, Jordan Elston, Carly Spencer, Brogan Freeland, Callie Bennett, Ashley Petit, Josie Russell, and Simone Shaw. The top 5 will be this year's homecoming court, and the queen will be selected from the court based on an interview with the selection committee. The homecoming court election will be Wednesday, and this year's election will be held entirely online.
After 2 big weeks on the road, the Trojan football team is returning to Veterans Memorial Stadium to open conference play. Last night, the student body showed their support for the team at a pep rally in the vet. Conley Gilmore has the story.
A pep rally was held on Thursday night in preparation for this weekend's home football game.
Today we just had another pep rally. The theme was Night Night New Mexico State. We wanted to show a lot of support coming off a big win with Southern Miss. It's our second home game of the season. We just want to show the football team a lot of support, so that's what we did.
Coach Neil Brown gave a special thanks to Tiffany Chandler for her 4 years as a coach for Troy cheerleading.
This is actually going to be her last game, so give her a big round of applause.
And the students had a dance competition dressed in their pajamas.
It was funny. It was good to see some people have really good dance moves and some people not.
Fans have high hopes for the Trojans in their first conference game versus New Mexico State.
I think we're going to do really good. This year we have a strong team and we have strong leaders in our coaches, so I think that we're going to do great because they've been building throughout the season.
And the Trojans hope to see fans stay through the fourth quarter.
Yeah, obviously we hope to see a good turnout. We always have a good turnout. Hopefully people can stick around, not leave too early. Let the players see you guys there the whole way through.
The Trojans will say nighty-night to New Mexico State in Veterans Memorial Stadium on Saturday at 6 p.m.
Conley Gilmore, Troy TrojanVision News.
Kickoff for tomorrow night's game is set for 6 o'clock. Jamal Kennedy will have a preview of the game coming up later in sports.
Well, it's tea time. Tea for Troy, that is. Troy students got the chance to learn more about each other's cultures on Thursday night in the Trojan Center ballrooms and this week's Tea for Troy. Ryan Renfro has the details.
When you first arrive, you may notice that Tea for Troy is a night that consists of much more than just tea.
Bringing people, it's more of a social organization. Afterwards, we'll have people hang out, join tea, I guess a social thing to bring people together.
And this week, members of Tea for Troy invited Troy students to the Trojan Center ballrooms to learn about a country that Morris says is well represented on Troy's campus.
Nepal is a country that most people don't really know about, and we're lucky enough to have a lot of Nepali students here at Troy University.
Nepali students say having a night to share a bit of their culture was an enormous opportunity.
It was an immense pleasure, and I think that it was a big opportunity, and we're really, really thankful for it.
I loved it. I love talking about my country, and I love talking about anything that has anything to do with my country, so I loved it.
And then all of a sudden the lights turned off. And as I hurried to grab one last cup of tea, the Nepali culture came to life.
Well, when you come to cover a story like Tea for Troy, you gotta try the tea. But for many tonight, this is much more than just tea. This is a chance to return to their homeland. And wow, that is good.
Coming back from Nepal, after all these months, I've been able to taste Nepali tea and it feels so good. It feels like I'm at home, away from home. So having a Nepali tea here, it takes me closer to my country.
The next Tea for Troy is scheduled for October 13th. Ryan Renfro, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Next week, ISCO will take the place of Tea for Troy, and like Ryan said, the next Tea for Troy will be held on October 13th. And if a pep rally and tea weren't enough last night, the University Activities Council threw something else at students.
Yeah, a dodgeball. Well, it was actually the students throwing the dodgeball, but it was the UAC that made it happen. Jalen Bivens has all the action.
Thursday night, the University Activities Council held a dodgeball tournament for students to take a break from schoolwork and to help them let off some steam.
I would say it really de-stresses people because you get to throw a ball and just throw it as hard as you want. And I know everybody's stressed out with school and
and all that stuff. So it's a really good event to have for mostly boys to de-stress.
The event had a good amount of people to show up to participate and to spectate as well. However, due to so many people wanting to play, not everybody got a chance to get in on the fun.
Yeah, we were surprised at how many people actually showed up tonight. There was a lot of supporters in the audience, there were a lot of teams, there were a lot of people who wanted to become a team last minute, then we had to turn away. It was really great though. We really enjoyed it.
Some students participated in the tournament for fun, and others did it for a more personal reason.
Just participating for our organization pretty much, getting active, and I need exercise.
And though there were many teams in the tournament, it was the brothers of Lambda Chi Alpha that emerged victorious.
Oh man, it was great. We beat a lot of guys off the ATO team in the last game, so that was good because they beat us in everything else. This is about the only thing we can beat them in.
In case you missed out on the dodgeball tournament, UAC plans to host a numerous amount of events coming up in the next few weeks.
That's going to be really fun. The week after that, we're having Dollar Movie Night, and then I believe the week after that is Homecoming Week, so expect some food and whatnot from us.
Jalen Bivens, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Up next for the UAC is a glow party in Sartain Hall. The party will start at 7 o'clock.
Now, the latest in Trojan sports on Troy TrojanVision News.
Good evening, Trojan fans, and welcome into the world of Trojan sports. I'm Jamal Kennedy. Now, last night I shared with you head coach Neil Brown's briefing on the football team's upcoming matchup with the Aggies in New Mexico State. Well, tonight we hear from the players.
After 2 weeks on the road, the Trojans finally returned home for a contest, opening up conference play with New Mexico State, and the players are glad to be back.
It's going to be great. I think we're going to have a great crowd, and we've been on the road the last 2 weeks. We played really good the last 2 weeks as well, so hopefully we'll have a good home crowd and just some good support this week.
We need to get on a roll. We have, four straight Sunbelt games. So, we just need to get on a roll this weekend. It starts with New Mexico State Saturday, but obviously it starts with them, and we just need to have a good showing and a good game.
I feel like we're playing pretty good ball right now, and knowing that this is the first conference game to really show what we can do. It's going to be a very good game.
Yeah, and it could be a very big game for that man as well, as he could put up another 100 rushing yard performance for the Trojans against a defense that doesn't defend the run very well.
If we do what we can do, as in our line, they run a 4-down front, which we're used to. So if our line does pretty good, I don't see a problem of us having a good run game.
Last night we heard from Coach Brown about how the returning Sunbelt Conference leader in rushing yards is on that Aggie team in the form of Larry Rose III, but it's not just his rushing ability that the defense has to respect.
We're not trying to give any rushing yards. That's the game playing every game. We don't give up any yards rushing. So this week is going to be a heavy emphasis on him because not only can he carry the ball, he can also catch the ball at the backfield. So it's going to be a really big week for us. We're going to go out there and show this Saturday, show everybody how good we are, who's the best defense in the league, and just go out here and play our game like we usually do.
The Trojans have been away for 2 weeks and playing some pretty outstanding football on the road. They'll look to carry that play into tomorrow's 6 p.m. meeting with New Mexico State at the Vet. Head coach Jason Hamilton is asking his team for more after tying last Sunday in a home match with Arkansas State. He's also looking for players to step up, and they'll have to do so with the streaky team coming in.
Every year they're a team that surprises some teams with their results, and sometimes gets surprised. So I think they've been hot and cold throughout the last couple of years, but they've got the talent there to be very successful. I think they've got some good athletes. They've got some dangerous threats offensively, and they've got a good goalkeeper and some good athletes in the back. So they're a team that just like every team in our conference, if you don't show up and compete, you could give the game away. And I think if we don't show up and compete against them, it'll be definitely a team that would be happy to take the win and go home.
He and his team will take the home field again this Sunday at 1 p.m. against Louisiana Lafayette. And it's not going to be an easy one for the Trojan volleyball team as they'll face an experienced Texas State team coming in, a team that has also beaten a team that the Trojans have lost to just recently. Hope springs eternal in this opening autumn season as the Trojans return home for competition.
Texas State's really good. We lost to Portland in 5. They beat Portland in 3.
So at any point, they can be really, really good, or then they've lost some matches that they really probably shouldn't have. Good team, well coached, very experienced. I think they have 6 or 7 seniors on their roster, and they pull people in and out. So it's a challenge because you've got to be ready for 14, 15 players per match.
Fans, if you can't catch the Trojans tonight at 6 p.m. against Texas State, that's okay, because the Trojans will also be in Trojan Arena Sunday for a noon start to their matchup against UT Arlington.